Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. I want to start off by reminding everyone that daylight savings time is in its last week right now, so we are going to be changing the clocks back next week on November 3rd. So make sure you're planning ahead to that. We do get that extra hour because we're falling back, but by the time you're watching next week's update, it'll be just about time to switch the clocks. With that too, just a reminder from the Gardner Fire Department, when you change your clocks back, you should also be changing the batteries in your smoke detector out of good habit to make sure that those are strong and fueled for what they need to do if you ever need them, God forbid. So just as a reminder that those two events are coming up within the next week. We had a fun week at City Hall this past week. This past Wednesday, I had the honor and privilege of hosting all of the mayors and town administrators and managers from across Massachusetts at the PACC for our monthly October Mayors Association meeting. All of the mayors across Massachusetts get together once a month to share ideas with each other and talk about what's going on in their cities, how they're dealing with certain budgetary aspects, how they're dealing with different projects, how they thought of different projects that are there, and seeing how we can, replicate ideas from other places that worked well other places and avoid ideas that didn't work so well in other places. It's one of those things that, that collaboration time with people who are in that job field together really does provide a lot of good for a lot of us in our different communities from across Massachusetts. We decided to open it up to the Massachusetts Town Managers and Town Administrators Association this week as well. So we had just about 100 people over at the PACC. Most of the mayors came, and then some of the town administrators from the Central Mass area joined us for that as well. It's always great to show off Gardner in such a nice way to people from across the state and be able to share ideas like that. And maybe we'll pick up a couple on our own. But I want to thank Katie Jablonski in my office, Amy Lavasser, and Meg from the health department, and everyone else who was involved in that for really helping to get that ready to go. Everyone at the PACC, the Massachusetts Municipal Association. It was really a great event to see people out and involved in that way. I also want to thank Gardner 10 Pins for opening the bowling alley for the mayors after the workday was done as well to show off another local business here in Gardner. We also had our annual Halloween stroll this past Friday as well, in which students preschool aged and under were able to go trick-or-treating through all the downtown businesses and in the offices here at City Hall. It was a fun time for everyone. Unfortunately, I had to miss it due to a funeral that I was having to attend, but I hear from all the staff here at City Hall it was a great event all around, and I want to thank everyone who joined that, the preschools who made field trips out of it, and everyone who participated and made that annual event as fun as it always is each and every year. Just as a reminder that early voting is continuing in Perry Auditorium next week. Since last Saturday it started, and it will continue through Friday, November 1st in Perry Auditorium. Again, that's normal business hours for us here at Gardner City Hall. The flyer looks like this on the city's website, but City Hall is open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Friday. After 1 p.m. on Friday, November 1st, voting will be back open again on Election Day, November 5th, which will take place at the 5 different polling locations around the city. We'll get more into that in next week's update so people don't get confused and go to early vote at those locations. But just know that if you would like to vote early, you can do so either by mail still, or you can go to Perry Auditorium here at Gardner City Hall through the Knowlton Street entrance in the back. And vote in person there, no matter where you live in the city. That's the one early voting polling location. The Haywood Hospital Community Health Fair and Vendor Sale will be on this Saturday, October 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Haywood Hospital main parking lot underneath the solar canopies that are there. The Healthy Harvest 5K is also happening at the same time. Registration begins at 7:45 a.m. with a kickoff at 9 a.m. Feet hit the pavement immediately following the ceremony. So it'll be a great time for everyone. The money raised at this Healthy Harvest 5K goes to helping mental health initiatives in our school throughout the year. So thank you very much to Haywood Hospital for your continued efforts in helping support our community, not just with the work in the doctor's offices in the hospitals themselves, but really getting out into the community and being a true community hospital. The biggest question of the year, that I think the first time this year we got asked this question, was in July. Halloween trick-or-treat is going to take place on Halloween itself, which is October 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Gardner. This is something Gardner does every year. Halloween trick-or-treat takes place on Halloween Day itself from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you can mark your calendar for next year too if you want. But it seems to be the earliest question we always get here in City Hall. So again, that'll happen on Thursday, October 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for a regular trick-or-treat. But while we're talking about Halloween and in the Halloween spirit, Gardner High School juniors would like to invite everyone in the city to attend their Pumpkin Palooza event. This is for younger children to come and enjoy some fun Halloween stuff during the day. This will take place on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Gardner High School's cafeteria and gymnasium. And for the older crowd, for people who just like Halloween, for a more frightful experience, the class of 2025 at Gardner High School is having their annual haunted house at Gardner High. Also on Saturday, October 26th, tomorrow, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are $5 a person at the door. Snacks, raffles, and scare galore. There'll be a lot more there for sure. So thank you to everyone at Gardner High School and our seniors from the class of 2025 and our juniors in the class of 2026 for putting on those community events for everyone. Just as a reminder that the Thanksgiving Gardner Farmers Market is going to take place in Perry Auditorium on Saturday, November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have a turkey vendor, we've got craft vendors, we've got vegetable vendors, we've got everything you need for your Thanksgiving table right there in Perry Auditorium that day. So make sure you stop out and enjoy all this local produce and local products that are going to be there to get ready for Thanksgiving. Levi Haywood Memorial Library had a special celebration this past week. If you don't know what's happening there's going to be a series of events at the Levi Haywood Memorial Library building this year because it's the 20th anniversary of the building's dedication of the quote-unquote new library that's over on West Line Street this year. We had a birthday celebration for them with cupcakes this past week, and the next item on their calendar is they'd like to invite our children in the community to join them for a dinosaur tea party on Saturday, November 9th at 11 a.m. Get ready for a dynamite, that's hilarious, Stephanie, I just saw that in my script for the first time, dynamite time with snacks, crafts, and some stomping dino feet. Registration is required beforehand, and you can call the library to do so at 978-632-5298 to secure your spot. We can't wait to see you there. Thank you very much to Library Director Stephanie Young for not only that surprise in this update script, but also for the work you do over at the library with your staff, really growing the programming that we're offering over there at Haywood Library. On November 7th, The Professor Was a Spy, Gardner's Norman Holmes Pearson, is going to be an event held at the Levi Haywood Memorial Library. Join them at 6:30 p.m. The museum-hosted reception is going to take place at 6 p.m. With the actual presentation beginning at 6:30 p.m. The son of the founder of Goodnoe Pearson's, Norman Pearson, might have looked like the Tweedy Yale professor he was, but he was one of the most consequential figures in the 20th century American literature, an architect of Cold War collaboration between academia and cultural diplomacy, and one of the highest-ranking spies in the OSS and one of the shapers of the CIA, right here from Gardner, Massachusetts. In this program, Greg Barnshell of Duquesne University, will read from and discuss his new biography of Pearson, codename Puritan, Norman Holmes Pearson at the Nexus of Poetry, Espionage, and American Power. His hot-off-the-press book is also going to be available for purchase. This is a joint event in collaboration with Levi Haywood Memorial Library and the Gardner Museum. On November 13th, the ever-popular Festival of Trees will begin at the Gardner Museum. This will be the 19th year that this event has taken place, and there is no reservation needed for this event. You can just go and enjoy the Christmas trees that are there. This popular event is open to the public starting on November 13th until Saturday, December 7th, with the opening hours of Wednesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4, Fridays 1 to 7, and Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ticket sales are cash only over at the Gardner Museum as well. Great to see that coming back there. And then as another reminder, the Greater Gardner ARC, which is a organization that works with children with mental disabilities and physical disabilities as well, is having their annual Halloween party on Friday, October 25th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. With the series of new ribbon cuttings and grand reopenings and grand openings that we've had here in Gardner coming up, I want to say a welcome to Lovewell Beauty Supply, the new beauty salon store over in Timpani Plaza next to Sawa. I had the pleasure of meeting the new owners this past week. Great place to go check out if you haven't checked them out yet. And on the grand reopening side of things, McDonald's in Gardner is having their grand reopening celebration of the interior of their restaurant and a new ribbon cutting that'll take place at 11 a.m. on October 30th. It'll have guest appearances by Grimace and Mickey Mouse at the event. There'll be raffle prizes of a Nintendo Switch, a Star Wars Lego set, and a flat screen TV, as well as different giveaways, chance to win Big Mac of the Year, free Big Macs for a year, and a lot more with that. So keep an eye out on the City Hall's Facebook page. We've shared their flyer for them, and it should be a fun time for everyone who's there. So make sure, again, that's 11 a.m. on the October 30th. I want to close out by saying some of the other exciting things that are happening in Gardner this week. There were a lot of grant announcements that the state put out this past week that relate to us here in Gardner that we're going to be going more in depth into next week. But everything from another $3.5 million for the Main Street Revitalization Program to fare-free rides for another year and the MART bus program and so on from there. So keep an eye out. We're going to have a lot of announcements coming out next week, but we'll tease those out here since the state has already put out their press release saying that Gardner received a certain dollar amount. We'll dig into what that dollar amount means for Gardner in next week's update. However, that concludes this week's update. As always, if you have any questions on anything at all, please feel free to contact my office at any time, and we'll get that information back to you as soon as we can. And happy Halloween, because Halloween will be over by the time we have this next update. So happy Halloween, and enjoy all the trick-or-treating and celebrations that are out there in the city. And Mom, happy birthday. Everyone, thank you very much. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much.